Today I want to talk about something that I think many of us experience but don't fully understand. Why do we feel nervous around authority figures? Why does that manager, that senior colleague, that person in a position of power make us feel small, tense, or anxious? I've talked about my own fear of authority before, how I used to shrink around senior people, how I'd avoid them, rush past them, feel like I was inferior. I remember being in school and seeing the headmaster in the hallway. My heart would race. I'd try to avoid eye contact. If I had to greet him, I'd do it quickly and then rush away as fast as I could. And I've made progress since then. I'm better now than I used to be. I can stand in front of managers and big bosses and stay composed. I can even approach them for a chat. But I still notice that flicker of nervousness sometimes. That tightening in my chest when I'm about to speak to someone senior. That moment of hesitation before I say something. That urge to shrink or avoid. And I've been wondering, why is this so common? Why do so many of us feel this way? Is it just me? Or is there something deeper going on? So I did some research, and I found that there are actually two layers to this. One is evolutionary. It's wired into us, baked into our biology. The other is learned. It's shaped by our environment and experiences. Both play a role in why we feel nervous around authority. Both are real. Both have power. Let me start with the evolutionary layer. First, social hierarchy sensitivity. This is one of the most fundamental aspects of human nature. Humans evolved in groups where survival depended on respecting rank. Leaders controlled food, protection, and punishment. They decided who got resources and who didn't. If you defied a leader, you could be excluded. And in ancestral environments, exclusion meant death. You couldn't survive alone. You needed the group. So our brains developed something called a status radar. We automatically detect who's above us in the hierarchy. We're constantly scanning our environment for social rank, even when we're not conscious of it. It's not a choice. It's a survival mechanism that's been with us for hundreds of thousands of years. When you feel nervous around a manager or a senior person, part of that is your brain doing what it's designed to do, keeping you safe by making you alert to the power dynamic. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your brain is working. Second, the threat detection system. There's a part of our brain called the amygdala. It's responsible for detecting threats and triggering the stress response. When we perceive someone with authority, our amygdala activates. It treats the authority figure as a potential threat. This might seem like an overreaction in modern contexts. It's not like the manager is going to attack you. But historically, displeasing a leader could mean danger, exclusion, punishment, even death. So our brain is wired to treat authority with caution. It's a protective instinct. It keeps us from taking risks that might jeopardize our belonging. This is the same system that makes you feel anxious before a performance review, or nervous when you're called into the boss's office, or tense when you're about to have a difficult conversation with someone senior. Third, social evaluative threat. Being judged by higher status individuals spikes cortisol and heart rate. This is because reputation and belonging were critical for survival. If you lost face in the group, you could lose allies. You could lose protection. You could lose your place. You could be excluded, and that could mean death. So our brains are wired to care deeply about how we're perceived by those above us. It's not vanity. It's survival. That's why performance reviews, meetings with senior people, or even casual conversations with a boss can feel so stressful. Your brain is literally treating the evaluation as a matter of life and death. That's why you might feel your heart race, your palms sweat, your voice shake. That's why you might overthink every word you say, or feel like you need to be perfect. It's not weakness. It's your brain trying to keep you safe. So that's the evolutionary layer. It's wired into us. It's part of being human. But that's only half the story. The other half is learned. It's shaped by our environment, our experiences, and our conditioning. First, childhood authority experiences. Our childhood experiences with authority shape how we respond as adults. If authority figures in your early life, parents, teachers, elders, were harsh, critical, or punitive, you may carry that anxiety into adulthood. Your brain learned, authority equals threat. And that lesson sticks. Maybe you had a strict teacher who shamed students for getting things wrong. Maybe you had parents who used harsh punishment. Maybe you grew up in an environment where questioning authority was dangerous. Whatever it was, your brain learned that authority figures are not safe. And that learning becomes wired into your nervous system. It's not just a memory. It's a physical response. Your body remembers even if your mind doesn't. Second, cultural norms. Cultural norms also play a role. In collectivist cultures, respect for elders and superiors is emphasized. Authority is rarely questioned. Hierarchy is seen as natural and necessary. This can amplify nervousness around authority figures. In more individualist cultures, authority may be challenged more openly. There's more emphasis on equality and questioning authority. This can reduce the intensity of fear. But even in individualist cultures, we still feel it, because the evolutionary layer is still there. Third, workplace hierarchies. Modern organizations reinforce authority structures. They're designed with clear hierarchies. Managers, directors, executives, they all sit above you in the chain of command. Performance reviews, promotions, salaries, job security, all of these depend on the approval of those above you. We're conditioned to feel tense because our livelihoods depend on their approval. It's not just psychological. It's practical. They have real power over our lives. And that conditioning reinforces the fear. So that's what's happening. Evolution wired us to be alert to authority. And our environment shaped how strong that response is. It's not just you. It's not just me. It's human nature, shaped by personal experience and culture. But here's what I want to say. This nervousness is not a character flaw. It's not a sign that you're weak, or incapable, or broken. It's a natural response to a complex mix of evolution and experience.